Hey guys, this is Dr. Tom Wallen with the Better Hit the Mat podcast Active Recovery Series. So this video has been inspired by one of our listeners, Chris Payne. So what we're going to talk about in this brief video is how do we stay on track nutritionally throughout the holiday season so that we can ensure that we're still reaching all of our goals and we can stay jacked throughout the new year. So the numbers don't lie, guys. The average American will gain 10 to 15 pounds over the holiday season. So we've got Thanksgiving. We've got Christmas and Christmas parties. We've got Hanukkah and Hanukkah parties. We've got New Year's and New Year's parties. It seems to be an endless barrage of food and overindulgence. So what we're going to talk about today are some strategies that we can employ to make sure that you can stay on track with your nutrition plan throughout this hectic time of year. All right, so let's talk about strategy one, and this is the most simple of all of them, is we have to go into the holiday season, we have to go into every single holiday meal having a plan. I use this saying all the time, guys. A fail to plan is a plan to fail. So I want you to go into this entire season knowing exactly what your objectives are. Now there's two ends of the spectrum, and these are the extremes. This is the YOLO perspective where we just say, I'm gonna eat every single thing that I can stuff into my face. I'm not gonna leave any single holiday event until I feel like I'm busting at the seams. Total overindulgence, total glutton fest, no rules, no restrictions. Extreme number one. I've been there. Extreme number two, we're going to go into our holiday meal, particularly Thanksgiving. You're going to have a pre-portioned Tupperware container with your grilled chicken breast and your steamed broccoli and your brown rice, and you're just going to sit there at the meal, hate every segment, judge everybody for their overindulgence. Again, I've been there. Where am I today and what do I suggest? Remember, guys, it's always about meeting in the middle. It's always about that gray area. There are ways that we can still indulge over the holidays without having to overindulge. So I want to also go through the psychological aspect of, guys, they build these holidays as gatherings to overeat. What is the true meaning of these parties? It's to be with your family. It's to be with your friends. It's to have a nice meal. It's to converse. It's to gather people together. It's not about overindulgence. So keep telling yourself that. Even though society says we have to sit down and we have to binge, that is not part of the holiday. The part of the holiday is about the celebration. So I want you to go into every single meal having a plan. So let's go over just a few little strategies that we can do. If you're preparing your own meal, set yourself up for success. Stack the deck. There are plenty, particularly with all the holiday meal options, most of the side dishes are very, very calorically dense. There are thousands of recipes on the internet right now where you can make these meals slightly less calorically dense. You can make better healthy choices in each one of the meals. If you eat paleo, you can make paleo side dishes. If you're keto, you can make keto side dishes. If you're gluten-free, you can make gluten-free side dishes. So if you're preparing your own meal, make sure that you don't fall into the societal norms of saying, I have to make this way because it's tradition. If you have goals and you're really serious about those goals, you can clean up those meals so that you can enjoy them. You can indulge, but you don't necessarily have to overindulge. Now, another strategy is if you're going to someone else's meal where you're not preparing your own food. The first thing I want you to do is survey the landscape. Make sure that you're filling your plate first with healthier options. And there's always vegetables, there's always lean meats, there's always salads. So first thing, try to fill up as much of your plate with those healthy foods first, and then if there's little splurges, you can indulge and have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And know that you're at least filling the majority of your plate with healthier options. Now, another strategy that I employ, and I think this is actually very successful for most people, especially if you're an overeater, is if you want to look at the idea that you maybe want to slightly overindulge, you don't want to restrict yourself really from anything, employ the one plate method. You have one plate and that's it. And you can have anything you want in that plate. You can fill that plate up to the ceiling, but you have to stop at one plate. If you're the type that overindulges, this may be a very, very good strategy. Now, there's many studies that show if you hand someone a plate at an all-you-can-eat buffet and you allow them to take unlimited trips to the buffet, people will eat 4 to 5 times the amount of calories they would if they were seated at a meal, family style, passing food around. So if you tend to overindulge, think about maybe doing the one plate method and allowing yourself to have one dessert. And once you're finished, you're finished. Indulgence, not overindulgence. Now, on that same topic, we have to have the dreaded cupcake conversation. There's going to be trigger foods that are around, and some people have these, some people don't. So for those who tend to overindulge by eating a single trigger food, make sure When you go into every one of these holiday parties, first thing you do when we're surveying is make sure you find those trigger foods and avoid them. And then we also have those dreaded leftovers. After every meal, a lot of time we're dishing out leftovers to families and friends. And if you're having your own party, you're dishing them out. If you have those trigger foods in the house, you will eat those trigger foods, and those trigger foods will cause you to completely overindulge. So if those trigger foods are present, avoid them at all costs. If you have them as your leftovers, hand them out. Make sure somebody else gets them. What I like to do is if we ever have those trigger foods in the house from holiday parties, I take them to work. I have a great staff. They're really, really wonderful people. They don't have problems with those foods. They can enjoy them in a case where I would completely overindulge. So if you're on Team Cupcake or not, remember, there's overindulgence and indulgence. So if those foods are around, you will eat them. Also, it's okay to say no. I know it's very, very difficult around these times, but if someone is offering you something that you don't want, or too much of foods or things that you know are bad for you and that are going to just set you completely off of your goals, it's okay to politely say no. Also, there's many options of getting rid of food without wasting it. There's homeless shelters. There's people that really need a good meal. You can find options where if you need to get rid of these foods, someone will be able to enjoy them. Someone will be able to nourish these type of foods. All right, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is, again, more on the psychology side. And let's think about it this way. Would one healthy meal ensure that you're going to be fit and healthy? No. Will one bad meal ensure that you're going to be fat and out of shape? Absolutely not. So a lot of times we go more towards on that side. We say if we have that one meal, it's immediately going to just derail everything. It does not have to do that. Again, we're talking about indulgence and not overindulgence. We have to look at life from that 80-20 aspect. We have to have full balance. So if you're consistent over time, that's the key to success. It's not being perfect every minute of every single day. And again, even if you're perfect every minute of every single day, that's not going to guarantee your success unless you're doing the right things. So let's make sure we get it out of our head. We can have indulgences from time to time as long as those indulgences don't cause triggering of major overeating events. So sit down at these meals. Remember why we're there. We're there to be with our family. We're there to celebrate. We're there to be gathered. We're there to enjoy a great meal. Food is meant to be enjoyed, but food is also fuel. And anytime we overindulge, guys, there is consequences to that overindulgence. So I really want to tell you guys how I approach the holidays. This is my exact strategy, and I call this the skim strategy. So I'm going to put a little chart up. Right now, I'm consuming 2,200 calories every single day. I'm a calorie counter. For me, that works best for me, and I have a macro count. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm consuming 2,200 calories. Now that puts me in a caloric deficit of 500 to 700 calories each and every single day. I'm losing on average 1 to 2 pounds every single week. Now why is that? 500 calories times 7 is 3,500 calories. 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories. So the math shows that every single week I'm losing 1 to 2 pounds of body fat. Now, I'm actually preparing for a photo shoot, so every single meal counts. Every single day counts. So I want to show you guys, I have to make sure that throughout this holiday, I have this strategy called the skim strategy. So I'll put up this next chart. What I'm going to do is on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm going to reduce my calories by an extra 200 calories. So I'm going to be consuming 200 calories on those 6 days. Thursday is my Thanksgiving here in the United States. So I've skimmed an extra 1,200 calories, right? 200 times 6 is 1,200. I normally consume 2,200 calories. I can add an extra 1,200 calories to that meal, making my day 3,400 calories. At the end of the week, I'm still consuming the same amount of calories that I did on my dieting week. So it allows me a buffer of calories where I can sit down and enjoy some foods that I normally wouldn't eat. And I can indulge without gaining body fat. So that's my personal strategy. Not everybody has to follow that. Another thing I encourage you to do as well is make sure you're exercising around these days. I always, on Thursday morning of the holiday, I always get a great workout in. So on Thursday morning, I have 3,400 calories to eat between my lunch and my dinner. My breakfast, I'm gonna have a very, very moderate breakfast, probably a protein shake because During those other meals, I probably won't get the same amount of protein that I normally would. So I'll have maybe, 60 grams of protein in a protein shake, very, very low calories. I'll hit a really, really great workout. It's one of the only days of the year that I have off. So I'll have an early morning where I'll have a great workout. And then I'll enjoy my Thanksgiving. I won't worry about anything. I'll indulge, but I won't overindulge. But I have a large buffer of calories that I can consume. And then on Friday, I've got a ton of energy. Remember, calories are energy. I have more energy in my body than I normally would. I'll teach on Friday morning, and then I will have an intense workout Friday night. Then by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm back on track. So guys, that is some strategies to make sure that you're ensuring your success over the holidays. Set yourself up for success. Eliminate your possibilities of failure, and you may be able to get through this holiday season lower in weight as opposed to everyone else that's gaining weight. So guys, thanks for listening. Make sure you check out the Better Hit the Mat podcast on all of your podcast platforms, including YouTube. We will hope to see you guys, and I want to wish you guys, from all of us, from Boz, Travis, Ryan, and me, Dr. Wam Talent, have a happy holiday season, and make sure you keep your goals in mind. Take care.